Good. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're all doing well. Sunday night's probably the most boring night ever at work. Nothing exciting ever goes on a Sunday night. Hope you're getting your day started well. I think it might just be you, mister. Could just be you. Let me go see. I'm curious because you said it. Let's see what yesterday. All right. We got countdown, and then we got right here. If it cuts it off. Good. Yep. Morning, everyone. Why does it why did it finish the morning, but that's weird. I wonder if it's when I clip. I wonder if it's got clipping protection. I need to huh. That's totally weird. Well, now I know. Good morning, Mr. Nick. Good morning, Mr. B. Shady. Good morning, Mr. Cliff. Good morning, Mr. Wicked Dream Designs. Let's see. Good morning, Mr. Mister. And good morning, Brown Sugar. And good morning, Mr. JD. Nice. Hope you're all getting your day started. Supreme. Supreme. That's pretty funny. So, I'm curious why the chat. Somebody type something in the chat. My chat is not changing. It's showing me the same thing. Huh. How do I reload? Sorry. I'm trying to deal with my chat box. It's supposed to be different. Let's see if this fixes it. Okay, boxed looks right. Chunky might look right. Clean. Let's see if it shows it as clean now. Nope. It's not loading my chat box right. Let me delete the chat box and re-add it back. All right, chat box is gone. Chat box is added back. See if that fixed the... All right, is the chat box working? No idea. It doesn't look like it. Now the chat box is not even working. That's no good. The chat box widget has been added to the current scene. But we don't see the chat box now. Viewer count is working. Sorry, trying to work out my stream stuff. Let me go ahead and show you what I had in my pocket last night. Get that over with. Had that in my front pocket. I had this in my back pocket. Then I had this in my back left pocket. But now we have no chat box. And that's pissing me off. Oh, I think I might figured it out. Hold on. I think I logged in with the wrong account. All right, let me try this one more time, see if we can get the chat box back. Remove, yes. Settings. View all themes. Chat box. All right. Chunky. Chunky looks all right. Let's see. Save settings. Launch. Back to dashboard. My God. Can't figure it out. We don't have. All right. See if this works. Hello. Nope. Chat box is gone. Gone forever. Well, that sucks. I like seeing the chat on screen. Yeah, that's no good. Launch. Yeah, why is it not working? Yeah, I have no idea why we have no chat. Good morning. I don't know what's going on this morning. Ah, it just came back. Thank God. All right. Now I should be able to edit it and maybe it'll keep working. I don't like chunky. Uh, let's try this one. See if this works. See if it actually changes. All right. Sorry, man. When I got technical issues, I can't really do much about it. So I can't focus on anything else. Good morning, Ill Knives. Good morning, Waylon. Good morning, Michael. Think that catches me up. Hopefully the chat box comes back here shortly. I did get another roll of leather last night. So that's pretty cool. There we go. We got chat back. Chunky. Nothing wrong with Chunky. That was just the name of the chat. the chat theme, but there's nothing wrong with Chunky. I had a hard drive go out on one of our customer computers in the lobby last night. I had built it originally, and this hard drive I took out of it. I think the hard drive died on it, which is kind of rare, especially for a solid state drive. But I did buy a cheap drive when I bought it. These are usually pretty good, though. So, of course, I had some extras laying around. So I took another one. But these silicone power that they sell on Amazon and Newegg and stuff, I mean, it weighs little of nothing. Feels like it's 1 terabyte though. I need to plug it up and see if it works. I've got little external USB adapters. You just plug them in. But I had to swap that out last night. I got in some more of those 5mm bearings, skiff-like bearings. I got in 6 more sets. There was a knife I bought last week that I had to add an extra washer to, and I can't remember what knife that was. But the centering was off a little bit. So I had to add an extra washer to a knife, and I think it takes these bearings, if I remember right. I ordered some more for a certain knife, and now I can't remember which knife I ordered it for. Yeah, they use Alcantara. Pretty cool. Alcantara. Find the Tootsie leather. Now I've got, now the screen is too dark again, so I got to raise my exposure all the way up, wash everything out. Then I got to put it back to exactly where it was, and it'll be brighter for some reason. I'm having tech issues today. But that knife just got brighter. But the settings are all the same. So, I have nothing to talk about today. I have absolutely zero preparation for today's show. But we're going to figure out what to talk about this morning. I'm going to leave it up to y'all a little bit. I take that back. I do have a little tiny bit of preparation. Speaking of preparation, and not preparation H, I think I'm going to sell this knife. And I think maybe Mr. B. Shady is going to buy it. Not sure, though. I think so. I decided that this week, since y'all saw that I carried all my cases into the table, what I've got in this roll is leather. I said I got another roll of leather to make sheaths with. It's not a secret treasure map. Oh, dang, be shady. That sucks. So yeah, I was gonna bust it out and at least show it to you. If you're gonna buy it. There it is in all of its beauty. With its mirror polished edge. Can't even get the mirror to shine. Where in the heck? There she blows. How much for that roll? $20. I do believe. It's 2 millimeters thick. 2 millimeters thick, 12 by 24. I think it was $20. Is today Clayton's birthday? There's the horsey in the logo. Amazon is where I got it. I got 2 different rolls. Let's see. Amazon leather sheet. You type in leather sheet on Amazon. That's what it likes to be called. And depending on how thick you get and what size you get, you can get it for around $20. I think. Yeah, this might be the one I got. 2 millimeters thick. I would probably prefer like 3 millimeters. I think the original sheet I got was 4 millimeters, and that was too thick. But I think 3 millimeters is probably about right. 2 millimeters should work good too. 3 to 4 thick. 6 by 12. That's a tiny piece. Yeah, it's got his birthday too. The main reason is because it's got his birthday. 5/22/23. It looks a lot cooler like that. I told him since it had his birthday that he would have first dibs if I ever decided to sell it. All right. So I did have a couple things to look at. I hope y'all have some things you want to look at. I had a few Instagram posts. This was a knife I had not seen. It's got a regular plunge lock with a safety, but I have not seen this knife. And I like knives that use the, quote, thumb stud as the stop pin or the stop bar. And that's a pretty cool pattern on it, too. If you notice, it looks like a bird, I believe. um, but yeah, it's called the Dirty Bird. And I didn't know they made this knife. I don't even know. There's the Slashly. I still want to check out the Slashly too. But it's got a pretty wild blade. Whoops. But I've not seen this knife. Do we know what knife that is? Who did the scales? We did. So this guy owns the knife, Mr. Mom. Wow. He does not post knife related stuff, so I won't go through his page. That knife belongs to that guy. Don't know what it is though. And the backspacer. Did anybody notice the backspacer has got a split in it? What's up with that? Why's it got a break in the backspacer? I thought it might be for a lanyard or something, but it doesn't look like it's in the right position to be for a lanyard. Do they make a knife called the Dirty Bird? I thought that was just what he called the pattern he did. Ah. Oh, I guess they do make a Dirty Bird. Okay, so the guy really didn't do much to it. I mean, he did the ano, but he didn't change the blade or anything. I thought he did all the blade mod and everything. What about the clip? Does the clip look like that? Yeah. Yeah, the clip is sculpted. So he did the ano on it. Ano looks super cool. Looks like a macaw, like he said. It's got the parrot feathers. So regular plunge lock, that's probably why I was turned off of that knife. um, have I seen the Spider Native 5? I think. Unless it's just like days old. I thought we saw a cool. Yeah, I have seen the Native 5. It's an older knife. I think we saw a cool one on Instagram. I wish you could search post. Well, Migron tested good. That's awesome. Their new 19C27 tested at 63.4. Yeah, why does that knife have a butthole? Oh, yeah, let's go see if the real thing. Does it have? It's got to. Yeah, it does. Anybody know why it's got a split backspacer? That's so weird. Why does it have a safety? Knives with safeties, to me, you're doing too much when you put a safety on a knife. All right. This is another one of those cool uses of AI, but you really can just like build stuff like the Sims now and see what it would look like in real life. And this says this is an Alaska homestead. And look at the guard towers. So it's built out of shipping containers. And it's got a pretty cool layout. But you can actually walk around this place like you were really there, thanks to AI. I like how he's got the two walls right here where you can go outside. It's not secured very well, but they got like jugs of gasoline that you could blow up right there if you needed to. I guess that's what they got. Walk through the tunnel and then you go to your house. Got the solar panels. Got all your maters. So just being able to visualize this place, it's pretty cool. Being able to do this stuff, you can basically create anything you've ever dreamed of. And I try to highlight smart uses. So they have a back door, an exit, a secret exit that comes out of a rock. Got your UTV up there. But yeah, that's where I see AI could be useful. Otherwise, it's junk. And this is for Mr. Sever7, which, good morning, sir. So his knife got a custom job done to it. And this is it. Got that cracked ice style done to it. Even got some blade mod cracked ice. So I'm sure he's super proud of that one. I think Mr. WDD has one he's working on as well, or maybe he just has one. Thought that was super cool. And I am convinced that a lot of knife makers are colorblind, and I'm not throwing shade towards people that are colorblind. Supposedly, like 1 out of 4 adult males are somewhat colorblind, which would mean a lot of knife makers are. But this is what kind of solidified it for me. Because anybody that thinks this matches good and doesn't just terribly clash is obviously colorblind because that looks terrible together. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. He probably thinks it all looks gray or green. And we've looked at the colorblind charts, and it's pretty wild. But yeah, that is terrible. Especially on a nice Riot knife. Come on. And then check out this slab. You talk about a slab of walnut. That is a giant tree. And who knows if that's AI or not. That's one heck of a tree if it's not. But yeah, there's a pretty cool chart that shows the difference of what different people see according to what type of color blindness you have. And there's a lot of different. So normal vision is the top left. So if you see the full spectrum of color in the top left, you are not colorblind. Oh, it's one of those it's one of those disassembly type deals. I got you, Michael. So kind of like that Tucson I've got. It's got the little spring-loaded place. Now I got you. It's like the, hold on. I'll show you what it's like. Because it sounds like it's exactly like one knife. Hold on. All right, so I'm back. Something else I just realized, because all my cases are in the kitchen. Today, I'm going to try to figure out how many knives I can fit on my table. But yeah, it's just like the Hinderer full track. So you pull out that little part of the spacer, and this is the tool for the pivot. Except this one is bigger, but same theory. It's just if it had a little break right here and you could pull out that part. This is a pivot tool. So that's a good example. But yeah, so either at the end of the stream or right after the stream, I'm going to literally empty every single knife case that I own and lay them all out on the table and then repackage my boxes the way I want them. But I'm going to make sure to get some photos of the entire table. I think, well, I already know I'm not going to be able to fit them all on that table, even if I pack them in as tight as I can get them. Because, so I think I'm going to do everything except for my two sons and my Kizers, and I'll have to do a separate table of them. And seeing Mr. William, by the way, good morning, Mr. William, reminded me of something else I wanted to tell y'all. This Thursday, I'm going to redeem myself by doing another lightning anno. And Mr. William doesn't have to, you know, but I'm going to try to recreate this knife exactly. And we're going to do 2 Thursdays. We're going to do lightning anno with a super polished up titanium scale one day. And we're going to do acid stonewashing the blade to a dark, dark color like that on another video. And I'm going to use this knife for 2 days of video, or at least part of the day, doing lightning anno like that on the handle and doing a acid wash on the blade like that. Not flame. I hate flame anno. Entropic anno. Yeah, here's
today we'll be reviewing the brand new Ketuo Dirty
Let's see
Bird.
here.
This is a Mitchell Picard design, and I gotta say it's an interesting one. Just wanted to show off these high mill type pocket clip that unfortunately is tip up right hand carry on. Heard that pop, and you can see how it's sticking up a little bit right there. Well, you slide this forward, see how it's notched right there, and then see the little hole right there. On this side, you have
they didn't use a spring like the
it's just
full
in
track
there so you don't easily pop that backspacer out. And you can see those 2 screws right there. They're not touching. That sits in this little channel right there. That kind of locks the scales together. And you have another locator pin right there in the middle. Well, once you get the backspacer out, you see right here, you have a flathead. That fits perfectly in the pivot like that. And you can make your adjustments if you need to. You can unscrew the pivot all the way and then...
Yeah, that's cool. So the only thing they should have done is like on this one, they put a spring in this little back area so that it always applies pressure, and they made this little hook to where it's always hooked into place. So they could have added, so there's no way it can pop out unless you actually push it back some. But this is the same way. It's got a little hex wrench that goes into this side of the pivot. It's actually fits in, the whole thing fits in. It's pretty cool. Same kind of deal. Yeah, William, I was saying that I would use a couple of videos to make that knife for you and then sell it to you for what I paid for it. So Mr. William told me that he wanted, that this was his dream knife. So I decided that I would try to reproduce it on a video and let him have it for what it cost me. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone, as they say. All right, and then I had another dual action knife that I didn't know about. And this is a manual / auto. And the trigger mechanism on this one is pretty cool. you push down on this inlay towards the smaller inlay towards the middle of the knife to activate the auto function. I don't know if it works just like the other dual action knives where you can act. So it's got a back lock or something, but you push down right there on the scale. Yeah, it's got a back lock. It seems like it works the same, so you can use it as a, yeah, you can manually close it and open and close it, but the back lock is a little odd. But there's not many of those double action Chinese clone of Colt M16. See, I didn't know that existed. And it's even a clone. Let's see. M16K. All right. So we should be able to just do this right here. Make this full screen. Take a screenshot of this right here. Go to AliExpress. Go to the picture box. Hit Control V for paste and hit search. All right. Where is it? Seeing the two patches of carbon fiber is going to be the easiest way to recognize it. Don't see it yet. I thought it might find it by the photo, but let me get an open photo. Maybe it'll be able to find it better. Let's see if that one will work. Capture. AliExpress. I bet I can look for the M16 knife too, but thought it'd be easier if it could find it by the photo. Let me make this box a little better. Well, that's a first ever. No, it's not a first ever, but me having trouble finding a clone knife. All right. M16 knife. Dual action. Yeah. I wonder if dual action knife. Well, oh well. I'll have to do some searching for that on my own. But yeah, did anybody else happen to find it? It's an eBay exclusive clone. Good morning, Starship Hunter. Colt. Okay, what about Colt Colt knife. What about Colt automatic? Ooh, it doesn't like the auto word. eBay only, huh? I've never heard of that. The same people that sell them on eBay find another place to sell them. Could possibly be on DHgate. I don't see it on here, though. Colt M16 knife? Colt M without the dash 16 knife. Doesn't like that either. Thank you, Mr. Mike John. Dual action refers to... So double action means that, like an auto, whenever you see a double action, that just means that you can press the button both directions on an auto and it'll open and close. So that's double action. And dual action is like these knives. I've only got a couple. Actually, one of them is not in my possession at the moment. Somebody is borrowing it. Should be getting it back this week, though, hopefully. But this is a dual action knife. So you can use it as a manual knife. You can open it and close it with the liner lock. And it's got superb, perfect action. It closes smooth. So you can use it as a manual. But it's also an automatic. So that's the dual. I'm gonna turn some sound on for a minute. So you can hear this one. So yeah, it'll open and close just like a regular manual knife frame lock. But then you can slide the scales to the side here, and it's an auto, and it still closes the same way with the frame lock. But if you open it manually, it'll close without any kind of resetting of the spring. So it'll close like a regular manual knife. And if you use the auto, it'll close until it gets to right there, and then you have to reset the spring. So the other one I have is the MSG2 Vespa Marfione Strider collab. I've only got two of the dual action knives. Yeah, Mr. Bob, this is about to be yours. I think both of these, I think I'm going to let those go to both of y'all. Mr. B. Shady and Mr. Bob. Mr. Bob said if I ever sold this one that I had to give him first dibs. So I'm going to honor that. And then B. Shady said the same thing with this one. So yeah, there's not too many dual action knives. The other one that we looked at was that Spyderco, you know, the Volatan, the sub hilt. So this is the other one. They're very few and far between.
I saw James Robert Buckley over at Maverick Customs just finished up converting a batch of these. I think they're headed to PVK and might be dropping this weekend. So keep an eye over there. But yeah, the Volatan Subhill, the Spyderco Volatan Subhill. I think this was the last design that Butch worked on. These things are so slick, and he totally designed these to be converted. He designed these to have this top inlay here converted into a trigger for that sear right there, which releases this kick spring and fires the automatic function. Really, really slick. Just that inlay shifting back and forth, and you can see that sear. It's like a little hook style sear that comes up and over the top end of the spring, and when you shift that inlay, it rocks back and releases the spring. Really nice jeweling on the spring. That was always a nice Volatan touch. This one's marked V117. The V tells you who did the conversion. Some are marked C, some are marked V. I think the C ones are Corey Volatan, and the V ones, I'm not sure who the V ones might be Kyle. Yeah, the early batches of these were done in the Volatan shop, and then I'm pretty sure Buckley took over doing the conversions on these. At least the last few batches I've seen converted were done by Buckley, and those you can tell because he actually puts his Maverick Customs logo right there on the sear. Makes it really easy to see. Really, really slick.
Anyway, that's another cool
like
dual action knife.
That.
And that's a great video for that knife. Yeah. Galeratus, or whatever his name is. Geratus. Can't think of his name. See, that's why I don't want to show chat, because it just popped up my chat, my private chat with Mr. William earlier, but just for a second. That's why I try not to show Instagram chats. So that's how small the little... Okay, that's the size I got to go on my sheath. I didn't realize it just had 2 screw holes. So I might figure out a way to make it removable when I make a little leather pocket to hold it. Might figure out how to use where you could tear some seams out and put a belt clip on it or something. I mean, a belt loop. That's not a bad looking handle. If you got to put a bunch of colors, do it kind of symmetrically and don't be all crazy with it. Grinding the corners off is a cool way to show the different layers of scale material too. Gerardus, I can't remember what the dude's name is, but yeah, he has those crazy. But I don't think he actually converts a sack. I think he makes those to look like a sack, but he makes them all by hand. Yeah, Jadratus. Yeah, these aren't actual Swiss Army knives though, I don't think. They're his knives, but they're made to look like Swiss Army knives. Dang it. I could be wrong about that, but I think they're his own custom creations. Ah, didn't spell it right. I copied it, but it didn't copy. All right. Yeah, they're crazy prices. $1,100. Dual action knives. I got a couple. Not double action. See, double action is what OTFs are. No, I don't want double action. I want dual action. They're even hard to find. Here's a good source. There's a Velatin. That Velatin doesn't have a thumb hole. What the heck? Oh, that's straight from Butch. Terrain 365 has one? Is it got Terravantium? P38 dual action. Terrain P38 $500. I want to see a video of how that one works.
Well, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate you, all of you. I have something very, very interesting and very cool on the table today. Recently, I have gotten very much into the company Terrain 365. I found online a reference to the...
Real quick, since he just showed both of those, somebody has still got to try out which one was it? I thought it was Shiro. Oh, look at these new Supreme bug outs. That's why I said Supreme at the beginning of the video. I had that on my mind. But these right here, oh yeah, Microtech. No, not Microtech. Was it OK Knives? Yeah, these two. So somebody needs to buy one of these and check them out, because I want to buy one. And both of these are the two he's got laying there. So he's got that one on the bottom, I think. And he's got, whoops. He's got that one on the top and that one on the bottom, I do believe. But I want to know how good they are, because I like both of those.
P38.
I like the middle one
right here.
the best.
They're sold out everywhere. Trades. And it is, I know. It's a, what is it? We're talking.
All right, let's see the action.
Right. But it's called a double action. And it is.
It's called a dual action.
Let's talk about that before we go any further. So it's a liner lock, as I said, right? And you can feel the spring kick in right about here, right? Snaps open very well. But you can also thumb stud it open. When you do that, it becomes just a thumb stud flipper. until you compress it. And now it's back to being an auto. I've never had a dual action knife like this before, and I think it is very, very cool. Now,
yeah, that's not a bad model either. So now I got to go to Knife Swap and type in P38. And 5 years ago, wow. 2 years ago was the last time one sold. And it sold for $215. Alright, I gotta track that knife down. Centering is off on it. So hopefully I can look and see who bought this knife by seeing who YOLO'd it, and I can't. Dang. Maybe it's still for sale. It doesn't show sold. That's pretty wild. The only one that got sold was the Sabenza. It'd be crazy if this guy still had it. Looks like he posted it multiple times. Received moolah. Nice prices. Posted it again. Sold to you per chat. So either this guy bought the Pina, the Alcatran. This one is still not marked sold on all three of those posts. This is where he first listed it for $240. I'm gonna hit this guy up. Do you still have the Terrain P38 knife? I'll buy it if you do. Now I gotta go to this guy's post and let him know on his last knife swap post. I put a chat in, and that is done. Alright, so maybe I will find one of those. Let's go back, check out a couple more. It's a good topic to look at. There's the Click. There's not many of them. Protect, Defiance. Nick, you should have known that one. How does that one work? How do you trigger the auto on that? Protect, Defiance. Alright. Where's videos?
Bang! Knives, I'm Jared, and today we are checking out three
Wait.
new ultra budget knives from
I clicked on
Kubey.
the wrong link.
So the Defiance is another one of those, what I like to call EDC DAs. Nothing too fancy, really nice practical blade shape with a high flat grind on thin stock. Just a great working knife. Good ergos, nice aluminum clamshell style handle. So it's very light. I didn't weigh it, but I'd say it's
So you
probably
just slide
under
one of the
4
sides
ounces.
of the scales up.
Liner lock with really, really smooth action. Not
So you just
quite
slide the
drop
scale.
steady, but it's on washers. So dual thumb studs, so you can reverse flick it if you want.
Tip down carry.
And then the dual action mechanism is very, very slick. There's no focus. There's no obvious moving parts anywhere on it. There's no bolster that you could slide.
Yeah, you just
the
slide
scale
the
is
whole
locked
scale.
in, so you can't shift that to one side or another.
Oh, you can't?
But the scale is actually hiding a little bit of a secret.
Oh, it's got a button.
Right around here, I believe, if I remember right. It's scooped away on the underside. It's thinned out so that
so you can flex it.
Tab that sticks out here can actually flex down.
Nice.
And that is your trigger. So when you push that, it pushes on this end of the sear, which lifts up out of the way of the spring and allows it to fire open. If we got enough light in here. There we go.
The tip down
See
carry
the spring
kills
is
it
right
for me.
down in there. This has a very
I would have to re-drill
long
holes
throw
on it and mount a
spring.
new
Typically,
clip on it.
most leaf spring style autos, you'll see the spring
That
start
might
to
be
engage
a cool
right
mod
about
too,
there.
though.
This one actually engages
Except you have to
quite a
fill
bit
in those
further
holes
out,
in the
but
top.
it's a relatively light
I guess you
spring.
could just put screws back in them and
gives it a
cut them
very
off to
unique
where it
action.
just had
It's very
screws in
positive.
those holes.
It is snappy, but it's not that Protect thwack that you get from the coil springs or that mule kick that you'll get from a Diskin. It's nice. I like it. It's unique. See if we
Get
can light
Waylon to
in
make
there
me a
again.
new clip for it and drill and tap new
Yeah,
holes
it's kinda
for it.
dark. The sear is right about here-ish.
Now I got to go
And
look
it's
at the side
pretty,
of it
pretty simple
so
run.
I can see what it would look like if you remove the clip on it. All right. So you could have. It looks like it's got a standard pattern too. You'd have to make a smaller clip for it and drill and tap two holes down here in the end. You couldn't use that same clip. It would look too big. But yeah, you could just take the clip off and put the screws back in, shorten them if you need to, and then put just a little simple clip on this end. Good morning, Robin. Nick, what did you post? EOS microsurgeon. Let's see if there's any DA knives on Blade Bench. Their search is the absolute worst search ever. I just typed D/A in, and what is it matching? None of these even have a D or an A in them. This whole line doesn't have a D. Which is pretty wild. This whole line doesn't have a D. So why did it find those when I typed in D/A? Blade Bench search is terrible. That looks a lot like the blade shape is a little different, but that looks like quite a few recent knives. In fact, what's the name of those? Wixon? Well, I can't even think of the name of them. Wixco. Wixco seemed to have some that looked kind of like that. I said I wouldn't promote FerraMonster, but they have a few little knives that I thought might have looked kind of like that. I'm not hating on Wixco. They seem to be doing all right. So does FerraMonster. But I thought they had some little knife that kind of looked like that. Maybe it's not quite as small. And that blade shape was definitely cool. I like the way it's got that kind of protean looking shape a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, that's the same as Benchmade clips. The pattern, I thought it was a standard pattern. I'm trying to think what that blade reminds me of. I've seen something that I like. It's like a I don't know, is it a protean with like a solid blade or something? I've seen some knife. What would a protean blade look like solid? Protean thumb stud. That's what we need. Yeah, they do have though. Yeah, it kind of looks like that, but not totally. Yeah, that's not what I was thinking of. That's not the knife I was thinking of. What knife was that? What knife does that look like? Somebody knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's not the warning. I'm talking about that little top swedge area and the way the shape of it is. Let's see. Hold on. Let me do this. Do this. Do this. Capture. Paintbrush. Paste. Save image. Knife. XX. Alright. Google image search. That. Now find me some knives that look like that. Yeah, it didn't do a good job. Google image search sucks too. There's a knife that has a blade almost exactly like that one, with the swedges at the top. I mean, yeah, these that's a cool version of it. But there's a knife that almost looks exactly like it. That's a cool looking little knife. There's something about that high voltage green that I like too. Yeah, maybe it's the Goblin a little. Let's see. No, not the Goblin. Goblin's too pointy. Goblin's a little too pointy. There's something I'm thinking. I'll figure it out. All right, I think I had a couple more links. Yeah, this was a pin for 99 cents. Anybody know what this is about? I hate ads like this. Get yours at RoganUSA.com. Get a free friction folder. Buy any, this or this, and get this for free. Rogan Research and Development Lab. Wow. I don't think that's his shop. If it is, he's really doing it big. Holy cow. Accessories. Rogan Click ballpoint pen. It's just a plastic pen? It's really not titanium? Wow. Okay, now I totally get it. He makes it look like it's titanium there, and then it shows the real green color on here. It doesn't look that same green on there. But he does have them for 99 cents, so it's not false advertising. But then how much is shipping? Shipping and taxes calculated at checkout. Yeah, so I'm not going to go through that. Alright, and then I had one more link. And I want to give a shout out to Satu Dave. Satu Dave is a cool guy. He was one of the first people that added me on Instagram and liked all kinds of posts I would post. And I truly appreciate that. So shout out Satu Dave. Hopefully this will get back to him. But this is his Origin number 19. Oh, this goblin? Yeah. It does kind of look like that. I sold Pete my Goblin XL from Concept. I sold Pete one of those. It does kind of look like that, though. You're right. That might have been what I was thinking of. Good call, Robin. Y'all help me out and hit that like button. But yeah, back to Satu Dave. He makes some awesome stuff. Great guy. Makes all the knives he can make, I guess. One man show, so I gotta get one from him. Origin 13 and 14. I ran across his original knife a couple of years ago at the beginning of my knife journey, and I had the hardest time trying to track down one. So I finally found him on Instagram before I even really had an Instagram account. I didn't know he made the Rogue Shark. Maybe he didn't make the Rogue Shark. He was working on one. But yeah, I've got one of those knives too, that top one. But anyway, he responded and was super cool about it. And I still haven't gotten one 2 years later. Well, that top blade is pretty sick. Talk about a page full of knives that I like. He's got my kind of taste too. Is that a Miller Brothers? Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, he likes big old beefy titanium knives like I do. And I've actually got one of those somewhere. But anyway, today after the stream, I'm going to pull out every single knife I own, and I'm going to make a giant pile of things I want to sell or don't want to put back in cases. And although I like this one might go in the sell pile. But they do make some crazy big knives. I probably ought to keep this one to go with my Migarons. But these knives are pretty wild. And this one is one of the nicer ones that actually has Z-Wear PM blade steel. And I like the Hammond, the Hammond on the blade too. It's pretty cool. No, Robin, it's not. It's one of the, they make 4 or 5 different versions of the, they make some ones with real blade steel and ones without. There's some that are a little cheaper. This is one of the $200 clones with real Z-Wear PM. But no, it's not real. And that might change your wanting it or not. But I don't know if y'all remember, but at some point on let's see, at some point I used my table to lay out all my knives when I was about a little over a year in, and I took a picture of them all laid out. And if I remember correctly, which I do have a pretty good memory, I think when I counted this collection, and this was definitely not all of them, but at this point in my collection, I had 438. But this table, I couldn't have gotten any more knives on it, so I'm not going to be able to fit all my knives on this table. But it will have changed a bunch since then, and if I make a for sale pile, I can get a lot of knives on the table. Yeah, that was back when I only had 400. Probably got 438. Yeah, I've got at least double that. I probably got double that now. But we're going to see, because we're going to do a count. I'm going to do a count. I've also lost a bag of fixed blades. All my Damascus knives that I got from Pakistan are missing. They're all in a bag somewhere. Packed them away because they're all garbage. I mean, they're not garbage, but not my favorite knives. But I've got about 20 or so missing Damascus, Pakimascus knives. That's going to be fun, though, to empty all those cases. Well, my light just lost power. Got to charge it up again. I've got a little secondary light that I've got on a little Gorilla Pod thing that I use. It's a nice RGB, super bright light with all kinds of weird modes. It's got the fireplace mode and the flickering television mode. Yeah, that's an actual old, I want to be proper in how I say this, but there's no other way to call that table but what it is. Well, let's just say most tables are wider than this table. This table is narrow because it was made for the less fortunate members of a plantation to eat on. And if you look them up, that's kind of what they're called. They're called slave tables. That's terrible. But in the South, there are such things, and they're made narrow like that because they didn't give them much room, I guess. But yeah, it's an antique from the 1800s. Probably even, yeah, early. It's an old table. It's put together with wooden pegs. Pretty cool table. But yeah, that's what they're called. I don't remember the actual year it was made, but super, super old. You can actually see the boards at the bottom, how uneven they are. Let me see if I can show it to you. Well, you can see how rough the boards are at the bottom there. Yeah, it's a wild name, I know. But evidently they didn't want to give them much space and much table. They needed all the room they could get. And it's a very uncomfortable table because the skirt on it comes all the way out to the edge, so you can't put your knees up under it easily. Your knees hit the skirt. Shout out Clayton's birthday. Wish he was in here this morning. Wish him happy birthday. Have to go make a point to go track him down and Tell him happy birthday today. There's a good old Satu Dave post. Yeah, dark part of history. But you know, there was, I'm not trying to like, in any way, normalize or rationalize anything, but just like in any part of life, there's people that treat people with respect and people that don't. And there were lots of farmers who were decent men that kind of, you know, just were kind of living with society, and they treated those people better than others did. In fact, when the slaves were freed, there were lots of places that the owners gave them land and stuff, and they decided to stay there, you know, mainly because they didn't have anything else going on and didn't know how to, they weren't considered equal in society, which sucks. But a lot of them stayed on, and there's a funny story about one of my uncles. When he was real young, they had some families that had been freed that lived, I guess, over on the other side of a mountain from part of my family, and he had snuck off down there to hang out with them when he was super young. And when he went over there, I guess they were dancing, and they taught him, you know, how to dance, or he was, you know, they were playing music and dancing over there. And so he saw that, and when he came back to the house, he was dancing like that. And my family thought he was like having a fit because they didn't realize that he was just imitating the dancing that he had seen. And they thought he was coming down with like a fever or something. Which is a pretty wild story. But it was only because he had been hanging out on the other side of the holler and learned how to dance properly or differently. But it's a pretty cool story that I talk about in my family. I want to say the phrase dancing a jig, J-I-G, was brought up in that story. That's what the family said he was dancing. I don't know. And I guess that refers to the old word that's similar to that. What link did you just give me, Robin? Did I just skip right over it? Oh yeah, Fisher Price. Nux. Made out of aluminum? That's pretty cool. Alright. I'm going to let y'all pick. We can end the stream now, or I can go in there and start unloading some knives and laying them on the table. And y'all can watch that for a few more minutes. Chat doesn't look like it's been rolling much. Might be stuck. Oh, actually I had it on the wrong setting, but yeah, the aluminum ones, I mean, that'd be pretty cool. Y'all want to watch me unload some knives out of cases? Alright, well, let me get my phone. Let me make sure my phone's working. I've still got the tripod in there, so that'll be easy. Let me make sure I got it connected. Which computer am I on? I think it's this one. Is that the right? Is this right? Let's see, where are we at? Yep, that's right. The Everburn is pretty clean. The milling on it is pretty sick. Alright. I'm going to put y'all in my pocket. I'm going to turn the phone on. It's solid black. Let me turn the background. Black. Why was the phone screen not taking up the whole thing? Well, that's not good. We should have full screen. Let me, oh, I know what I can do. There we go. That fixed that. Let me make sure the quality is high as it's supposed to be. Yep, we're good. Alright. Oh, dang it. I just closed stupid software. Hold on. Technology is not my friend today. Alright. We're back. I'm going to switch the mic over to the camera. To the phone. Let's see. Close. Properties. Microphone. Alright. Now we got a stereo microphone, which is super cool. Yeah, there's no pocket pull going on. Alright. I'll be right there. Hold on. Alright. Are we still connected? What is going on? Hopefully y'all can hear me. Whoops, I just turned off my screen. What the heck? I'm having issues today. Alright. Let me get us in the tripod here. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Whoops. Now I just hit the power button on my phone and it's trying to shut down. Alright. So anyway, this table, the edge of it, all right, hopefully I'm back. I put my phone upside down and it held down on the power button when I put it in and my phone rebooted completely. I guess I better make sure that y'all got some sound before I continue. Well, give me just a second. I think I'm losing power on my phone, but hold on. I had to make sure the microphone reconnected to the right microphone. All right, let me turn the light on. My phone says it's about to die too. Let me zoom in a little bit. We're going to start down here at this end with real knives. I've already got some of the ones I want to sell are on this over here. So are some of these. All right. Reel number one is this first case. Set it over there. We will start down here at this end of the table. Let me get situated and see what's going to show when I reach across here. All right. So, since I know these are in order, my Wii's are all in order, I should put them clipped down because they'll fit better. And because I've always said if you're going to see one side of a knife, it's better to see the clip side because then you get to see the whole, everything about the knife. Even though the show side is prettier. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to pack them in like that close in order to even attempt to get them all on here. And I'm going to have to start pulling them out quicker than this too. 2 at a time. My face is probably coming in the screen, which is not my favorite. I'm sure y'all don't want to see that either. All right, I can't reach. We're gonna do it like this for now. All right, then my Riots. How to do 2 at a time. Then my Brian Brown, and that should finish up. All right, then we got Knowles will be on the next row. More Knowles. At least I don't have to worry about, well, there are nails sticking up some places. All right, there's all my Knowles. There's a Ware. Another random single knife, Archbishop. And then my Kunwus. Yeah, this is going to be fun, but super annoying today. The Zorn, the Aurelia, and that one. I guess I'm going to have to leave a little bit of a gap somewhere that I can go back and fill in. I don't think I packed them this close the last time I did this photo. Now my stupid cases are in the way. But yeah, I'm going to be doing this regardless whether y'all are here or not. So, y'all wanted to see it. And we're going to be, whoops. I'm almost done with this first case, so that's kind of cool. I don't know how long my phone is going to last. Well, I got a lot of Monterey Bay knives. All right. Sickeray Light, Ether, Pretty Rattlesnake Knife, Tack Knives, and then all my Yankee ride design knives. All right. So that's one case empty. Hopefully y'all are still hanging out, watching. Let me, we got to make room for the next case. Ow! Dang it! Hold on just a second. This is one of my, I guess I'll go and pull all my cell knives out after the photo. But that's one of the ones I was going to sell. There's my Atom. And there's my Sage. There's that one. All right. All right. Let me grab another case. Hold on. All right, let me lay this case over here. Grab two at a time. All right, now we're into my concepts. They're at the front of this case. Hopefully y'all can still see. Whoops. Wasn't showing them all. We're about to be off that first row anyway. And then my Remettes. And a Tenable. Wait, there's a couple more concepts. Wait, these concepts go with the concepts. Where's that other concept? There it is. All right, there's a random Tenable up there. And I got my Vosteeds. Then I got my Hogue. And I got my Ontario. Not much besides titanium on this table so far. All right. Another row, Tri-Stash, Cretace, Duke, Viper Core, and my Bridgeports. All right. Then we got my Megarons. I mean my OEM by Megaron, Azusa Blade Works. Truffles. Then we got some Tuya knives. And a Best Deck. And a couple of more Arconas, which are going to go by the Arcona when I get over there. And we got my FM1, that crazy Lemifshu knife, sleeper, a couple of QSPs, and then I got, well, that can go up there, Clydesdale, Downdraft, a couple of these, Beyond EDC, my AD10s. All right, then I got 4 little knives that aren't really that nice, but they all got new scales together. Then we have a giant Dirk Pinkerton and a couple more non-clone Chinese ones. All my Land San Renmu. Another Rattlesnake non-clone Chinese one. Another couple of Chinese knives. Alright, then I got all my Sativians here. Nicer Sativians. And I got my 3 Devos. Alright. And I got a couple of Arcona, which can go down here at this end by the other Arcona. Those are both Arconas. Let's see. This one can go down here. There's an Arcona, and there's an Arcona. All right. I have to back up a little bit. So that is officially 2 cases down. Only got 5 more to go. Two down and 5 left. Repacking them is going to be fun. All right. Let's see here. I'm not halfway yet. Let's see, what do we do next? I said I wasn't going to do my Kizers or my Tucsons. So which ones are those? Okay, that's Kizer, that's Tucson, and those 2 cases. These are my 2 clone cases. What about Kubey? Get my Kubeys out, I guess. Uh-oh. Something about this case is not closing properly. My goodness. Well, what the heck happened there? Oh, there it goes. Good grief. Let me set these 2 cases down so I can make room for this other one. Hold on a second. A couple of these knives are real that I've got over here. some random. All right. Can y'all see this? Yeah. All right. Here's all my Kubeys. The lines is going to drive me nuts with them not matching up, but I've got to use all the space I've got. I could kind of try to fix it. I've got too many Kubeys. All right, I think that's most all of my titanium ones. That's not really a Kubey. Neither is this one, but they're both OEM by Kubey. All right, then here's all my G10 Kubeys. All right, y'all know I've been wanting to sort my stuff for a while now, so finally getting it done. All right, then I've got my artisans are in this bag too, evidently. So I've got all my artisan cutlery. I forgot they lived in this box with the Kubeys. Hey, there's a Kizer. No, that's an artisan cutlery. Oh yeah, that's the Gambit. I forgot about that knife. All right, and then I got 4 Damn Designs knives that were OEM by Kubey. And then I got 2 more that were OEM by Kubey. All right. Got another box empty. All right. Now, let's see. My 2 sons and my Kizers deserve to go on this table before my clones do. In my opinion. But, yeah. Let's go ahead and do the 2 sons. Because overall, I like them better than my clones. We're going to have a bunch of these. Got a whole case of these. And I bet somebody is just hating on the fact that I didn't do them show side. But like I said, the clip is a big part of the knife. So leaving off a clip could be very detrimental to whether you like the knife or not. All right, I got all my pretty ones now, I think. Tucson does do an awesome job with their lightning anode. There's one of my absolute favorites. My phone is about to die. When I hear it cut off, I'll go back out to the I'll go back out there and end the stream properly. If I hear it go off. I might be talking to myself for a minute, not realizing it. Let's see. That's a giant big hawker. I'm gonna put another one back there. Another one back there. That one. That one, that one. Two sons for days. Shout out my sister. She anoed this one. I don't know if the phone's still on or if y'all can still see it. But she did the blurple ano on this one. All right, 5 more. And Kubey is empty. All right, we made it through. I think that's all empty. There's another empty one. 4 cases down, 3 to go. Can't believe my phone has lasted this long, honestly. All right, now we're going to go to Kizer's. I have to move over a little bit probably. Oh, y'all couldn't even see that last row. All right. Holy cow. By the way, I would like to state, as a matter of fact, that there's not a single replica of a knife on the table. And that's what everybody thinks, that's what people think only knives I have. That is not the case. Where's my biggest Kizer to fill in that hole? So, yeah. So far, that little hole in the middle is going to kill me too. I'll have to redo some configuring and now I can't. Hold on. I guess I can fill in some Kizers back here because the Kizers will be going around the corner anyway. My God. Yeah, we got a bunch of little stuff here. Not a bunch, but phone hadn't died yet somehow. Let me swap those. All three of my drop bear zeros. I don't know how long that was going, but phone ran out. Alright, well, sorry my phone died. Not much I can do about that at the moment. I needed to take a break anyway. We back. I don't know when my phone died, but we're over the 2-hour mark, so I think we're going to have to end it up here. Thank y'all again for hanging out with me. I finished getting all my Kizers out, and I was about to give y'all an overview of everything. And I looked and my phone was dead. If y'all want to see some pictures later, join the Discord. Link is at the top of my YouTube page. Super easy to find and get to. All you got to do, go to my YouTube page and that link up there that says link Discord and one more link. All you got to do is click that little button right there. Oh, no problem, mister. It was up to y'all. Anyway, I would have ended it 30 minutes ago. I guess we'll have to do a different table with the clones. Alright, well, I hope y'all have a great Monday. It is the 79th Monday in a row. This Friday, will be, this Thursday will be the 80th Thursday in a row. And then Friday was the day I started, evidently. So Friday will be the 81st Friday. But this Thursday will finish up 80 weeks. Which is pretty cool. Yeah, if y'all don't mind smashing that like button, it's awesome. Mr. Bob, have a great day. Waylon, Mr. Ill Knives, Sever7, Mike John, Andy Miller, Mr. Ill Knives, Brown Sugar, Cliff, B Shady, Tristan, I think I said Mike John, Michael, thank you, sir, Mr. Pete, Mr. Robin, Mr. JD, Mr. Nick Martino. Let's see, who else? I got a bunch of people. I can't scroll up anymore in the chat, so. Anyway, love y'all, appreciate y'all.